Hi, Scorpios. How are we doing this week? We're going to be doing your weekly from August 2nd to the 9th. We're using the Australian Wildflower Oracle. Let's see what's going on. I don't know a whole lot about flowers. I just know they're pretty. I was not blessed with a green thumb, though. All right, what do we have going on? We have awareness. The Jamia Lily. So maybe there's a situation that you need to be aware of this week, or you need to put some more awareness into a relationship, a job, a career. We do have the Two of Cups, so I feel like maybe more awareness into a relationship and what's going on. You're going to hear all of the kiddos because we have grandbabies this week. So see what is going on. All right. What do we have going on for my beautiful Scorpios? Ooh. Showing up. I feel like this might be you getting out of your zone. Maybe somebody's coming to you with an offer. Maybe you're coming with somebody with an offer, but I feel like it's some form of offer of stability, this abundance. This could be a career opportunity, but are you feeling a little bit guarded when it comes to that situation with that Seven of Wands? This could be about the past with that Six of Cups. Kind of like if somebody shows up with an offer, it's like, nah, I'm good. You're going to be focused on yourself. This could be dealing with a child also. But I feel like it's just an awareness of a situation or even just awareness of past situations, especially with that Six of Cups here. Maybe you're dealing with somebody who isn't very open, kind of keeps things close to his chest a little bit. Oh, it's not something you're wanting to repeat with that World in reverse. It's kind of like the same old thing, same cycle. I feel like if you're getting messages right now about some kind of home life stability or even the intuition of it, it's really something maybe you don't really want to take. I feel like you can take this up a couple ways. This could be you getting highly enlightened, doing more research, thinking. Could be your own thought process. Could you being subtly clear on what your expectations are coming when it comes to home life, career, financial situations. This could be you researching jobs, something along that lines. But I feel like if it's a love situation, I feel like it's you dealing with some kind of home situation that really just kind of doesn't really communicate very well. It's kind of childish type of energy. We do have the Magician behind that. And it's like, whatever your dreams or hopes or whatever you're trying to build, I feel like you're thinking about how that can be created or how you can work through it, especially if you've been dealing with some kind of grief or some kind of painful situation with that Three of Swords back there. But I definitely feel like whoever's coming to offer, I feel like they're emotionally mature, but not emotionally responsible, if that makes sense. So I like the King of Cups. He shows up. He's emotionally mature, but he's also tends to be closed off and kind of holds his emotions. And, maybe they're not willing to offer the emotions, but maybe offer something kind of solid. But I feel like you're not really feeling it. You're like, yeah, I'd rather kind of just be on my own. I feel like you're super guarded and not really willing to spin into a new cycle at the moment. And maybe that's what you're becoming aware of. And I feel like it's either dealing with past energies or, this could be toxic childhoods or just toxic ways in some way, shape, or form, or just a toxic ex in general. And it's like, maybe you don't have any love to offer there at the moment. You're just kind of giving it to yourself. I know it's kind of a weird message. This could have been very well a relationship with that Two of Cups. It's a relationship that maybe you held on for a little too long, and it's time to kind of let it go with that Five of Pentacles. On the plus side, your finances look amazing. So, just so you know, I honestly feel like this is you creatively figuring out how to get out of your own prison. I know that sounds super weird, but that's what I'm going to go with. It might take a moment's rest, but I do see calm after the storm with that Six of Swords and some balance coming back to the situation. But if you've been dealing with somebody, that Two of Cups energy, somebody you cared about, it doesn't have to actually be particularly a relationship. It could be a job you love, people you love, and you've been holding on to whatever that energy is and been holding on to it so tightly. I think it's time to release it. It's time to maybe walk away and shut that door with that Five of Pentacles. Maybe it's time for you to offer yourself your own cup of love with that King of Cups. You fight for what you want out of your own world instead of spinning the same cycles. And when it comes to this Six of Cups, because that can also talk about self-love too, maybe focus more on the self-love versus the negative aspects of it. I know that's kind of weird, but it is what it is. And maybe I feel like that's kind of what you're being aware of this week, or at least acknowledging this week. All right. What does our divine direction have to tell you? These are not going to be long this week, and I am not reading about love this week separately. So we have time. The universe is helping you look for synchronicity, I can't say it, events around the world. Time. So are you paying attention to the things that are going on around you that might help kind of push you in that direction? And then unlock your creative side with dance, music, art, and writing. Express yourself. And I feel like the more you create things, the more healing that does, and kind of pushes you in a zone of happiness versus kind of like these feelings you can't really quite navigate quite yet. All right. That's what I have for my beautiful Scorpios. You guys have a good day. Bye.